Mic rolling, testing. Welcome to episode number 87 of the Eavesdrop podcast. We're verifying that. We have a very special guest for me, my man, 80? 88.
Damn.
Yeah, you're number 88. Isn't that your favorite number? Didn't you play football? And
Yeah, that's my favorite number. I played football, wide receiver.
Did you really? No. Why?
I'm 5'7", 130 pounds. So.
Are you 130 really?
Yeah, 133, I think.
Get the fuck out of here. You're 133?
And I eat so much, and I don't gain any weight.
Henry's 196 pounds. My dog.
He weighs more than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mathematics will say that he does. Anyway, Alex is also known as AP Bassing, Peric, one of the co-founders, one of the 5 Googans. Is there 5 or is there 6 with Mike?
Mike is
like there's honorary members like me, and then there's Mike, which is like a tier above honorary member because he was there in the beginning. You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
Mike was only there for like a month,
and
then he left, and then he came back. So I don't know. I feel like once you're a Googan, you're always a Googan for life. But yeah, he's not an original 5 members. Me, Rob, or not even
Rackley.
No,
it's just 4.
Me, Rob, Flair, and John.
Yeah,
those were the
and then Rackley. But Rackley came in kind of like right after, or like a year into it.
Yeah, it was within a year.
And then Mike came in, or was Mike and then Rackley?
It was Rackley and then Mike came after.
Yeah. I don't know. I always see you guys as and you're right. Yeah, once a Googan, always a Googan. Same thing with Optic. Once Optic. A real Optic, right? Like if I recruited you know what I mean? Like that. Then real like Nate Shot got caught, or not didn't get, but caught himself saying Optic Nate Shot like as recently as like 6 months ago.
Wow.
And he's like, what the hell? That's still in my brain? And he hasn't been an Optic since, let's see, when did he break my heart? In 2014. I'm kidding.
How did he just came to you and he wanted to start his own thing, or was
no, we were in the middle. I was in the middle of a turtle wax meeting in downtown Chicago. I was in a skyscraper. I was looking. There's there's a massive table, like the owners of Turtle Wax, and then the agency that represents them, and everybody's there. And then I get an email from Matt, and it says, should I look it up? Can I look it up? Let me see.
Look it up.
This is Nate Shot. Matt Haig. Let's look here. Just want to give you a heads up that I will be announcing the start of my own organization today. I'm acquiring King Pappy and will be representing them in stage 2. First off, I want to thank you for always having my back outside of business. You've done, bro. This was sent to me April 18th, 2016. That's when he told me, and I was in the middle because it came out of nowhere. At that point, we were already like almost not talking as usually as used to. As much as we used to, and he had already moved to LA to pursue his own thing, and I was in the middle of this Turtle Wax meeting. Everybody's hype, amped up about it. We're talking blah blah, and then all of a sudden I get that email, and it says Optic in the leading, and I'm as a header, and I'm like, fuck. So I started reading that. Just wanted to give you a heads up that I will be announcing and right there, my blood just drained. I was like almost shaking. Not that I was angry, a little bit angry, but I was like disappointed, but not disappointed because I sort of saw it coming because he just wanted to do his own thing, right? He's a natural born leader, so he was going to go do that, and I expected it. Either way, I was in the middle of that, and I got that message, and I was just like, man, I was like, what? And then I remember like everything being foggy, and I would hear like echoey voices in the distance. You know what I'm saying? Like in an actual movie, like a person across from me was like talking to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Something just came up and it's super serious. And I look at Dan Chacon, our manager, and I was like, I look at him and I'm like, and he's like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna talk to you later. Anyway, so I cooled down. We finished the meeting, and at that time we had already closed the deal. We were just going through the strategy of how we were going to promote Turtle Wax and how it was important. But yeah, it was crazy, and I don't think I've ever finished reading that email. I don't think I read the entire email. I just read the first. Still to this day, I don't think I have read the following group.
Yeah.
But he ends it with "Love you, bro, Matt," and look, it's one of those things where it hurt that he was leaving, but at the same time, like I understood but I didn't want to understand. And I didn't want to feel the way that I felt. And I know that, I mean, it must have been tougher for him, right? Because he's leaving the entire group of Optic, all of his friends, to go start his own thing in LA, where he only has like 3 to 4 friends, and ultimately ended up making more, right? Like he only had Fwiz out there, Diesel, and everybody. I mean, not that many people out there. So it was tough. You talked about moving to LA a couple of times by yourself.
By myself, yeah.
Tell me about that and why.
I've been looking at property out there for probably the past 3 years. I actually went out there and looked last December. The reason why is because just when you look at pictures and when you look at that place, being on the ocean, LA just has a vibe, right?
Yeah, it's 100%.
It's just like different. Going up in the Midwest, we don't have mountains, we don't have beach, we don't have sand, we don't have 80 degrees all the time. So there's those characteristics that are like driving me to the place. Mm-hmm. I just don't think I don't know anybody out there. So it's hard for me to just pick up my stuff and move out there and do it. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's the tough part. This dude did it, right? I mean, obviously he had like a few friends out there that would like that he could reach out to. But yeah, it's
also the fishing out there. Is super good.
Yeah,
like super.
All
good.
I see from bass fishing over there is this dude that I'm really good friends with from the internet. His name is John Memes. S&D used to be his. Anyway, this dude. Bass fishes, and then Predator, Optic Predator, old school member Optic Predator, also bass fishes.
Really?
They fish the Delta, I think it's called.
That's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh,
is it?
Good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
The only big bass that I see being caught out there is from Bass Brigade. Those dudes, the streetwear apparel.
Yep.
Dudes, they catch like Mondo, big mothers. I leave tomorrow. El Salto.
I heard. I'm jealous. I've never got to fish El Salto, but I hear for like numbers, that place is unreal.
If I buy you a ticket today, will you come? We come back Tuesday. You can say no. Because it's almost like a last resort, because one of my friends, so every year I buy myself a present, right? Okay. It's the one thing that I do. This year I decided that I was going to buy me and my friends a trip to, obviously Midwest people don't, more than anyone, unless you go somewhere, down south, you're not going to catch like big ones, except for Eric Sosa, my brother. He caught a 7-pounder on Long Lake. Did you ever fish Long Lake?
Yes.
He caught a 7-pounder.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
To this day, he won't stop talking about it. Obviously, why would he, right?
Yeah, that's a big fish.
But one of my boy, Mikey, ordered his passport and he couldn't get it in time, and right now it says that it gets here on Tuesday when we get back, but we leave tomorrow.
Man, if I have a friend coming in today.
Oh, you do.
And if I didn't, I would 100% go. Like I would just pack up and go, but I can't. Damn. Should have told me this yesterday.
Well, I didn't know until like late last night.
Damn.
He's like, yo, I just got an email that my passport's not gonna be here until then, but hopefully like it'll get here sooner than that. It's coming from Philadelphia and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, God damn it, why don't you get this shit done like way ahead? So I'm either going to take Roger, and Roger's one of our camera guys. He doesn't know that he's going yet, right? But I thought about it. I asked him, hey, you want to go? And he's like, no, I can't go. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait, hold up. Time out. Where do you work? You know what I mean? Like who if I say you're coming, you got to come almost. You know what I mean?
Like what do you have to do?
I know, Maddie, would you come? Yeah. So Matt's caught a 4.4 before at Toby's Ranch. First time fishing ever. 3.4, right? Look, already lying. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm going. I bought us on Ron Speed Adventures. Obviously, that's the dude that hooked it up.
Cool.
We were supposed to fish Comedero, which is like obviously the most beautiful place. Where I caught that beast.
There's the beast.
Tell me it's not the most beautiful place you ever fished. Or is there somewhere better that you fished?
For bass, no. Mm-hmm. That is the spot if you want to go and fish for bass. Well, it used to be. I don't know anymore.
Bad.
It's bad.
Very bad.
But as far as like most beautiful place I've ever been to fish, New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yeah, by far.
What'd you fish for?
Trout, rainbow trout.
Mm-hmm.
And just the mountains and the backcountry. Like there's all these irrigation canals that they built to like kind of like contain the water and stuff. And these trout, they farm breed salmon in them is what they do. So they breed salmon to sell to like fish markets, but there's trout in there, and they feed the salmon these pellets, and these pellets have so much protein in them that these trout are eating them, and they're just blowing up Like they're just like unnaturally big.
Yeah?
So yeah, if you look up like New Zealand trout fishing, you can catch like 30, 40, 50 pound rainbow trout.
Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here.
It's
How do you even
ridiculous.
pull that in? That's like half your weight.
Dude, ridiculous. I want to show you a picture.
Yeah,
just
please
just
do.
to give you
and then
some
screenshot it and send it to the chat so Matt can put it on the screen. For those of you who are not watching, go on YouTube and check it out. You guys know the minute marker. Just press pause, open your YouTube app, and just look at it. You know what's crazy about...
I can't even, unfortunately, I can't show you. I can't get into my Instagram.
Well, I could get into your... Wait, you can't get into your show? You got locked out?
I got locked out.
Oh, were you doing bad things?
No. I deleted Instagram for a while because I had to take a break.
Yeah.
Just because it's hard to look at other people all the time, right? So I took a break from it, and then I went to re-log in.
Yeah.
And I think since my account... Oh, there we go. Since my account has like a decent amount of followers, they thought it was like fraud.
Yeah.
So then I logged into my Facebook and tried to get in, and then they're like, you have to send us an email, and I just haven't. I don't know who to send an email to.
I got people.
Okay. Well, I need some help.
I got people that can get you into your account, but I don't have any people that will help you get verified. That's like the one thing. I got to plug everywhere except in Instagram.
I'm verified somehow on Instagram.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you are. The Toyota thing, probably. Right? Didn't you do something with Toyota?
It was my old YouTube network somehow got it for me. Back in the day when there was YouTube networks that actually had some pull. They did it for me like 4 years ago.
That's insane.
Yeah, but that was New Zealand.
That is a massive, massive, massive fish. How long did it take to get to New Zealand? 26?
Yeah, something like that. I'm trying to think where we flew to. I flew from here to LA to Auckland, which is like, that's 16 hours, and then Auckland to the South Island, which was another 3 hours. Yeah, crazy. That
is insane. If I was you or in your position or in any of the Google's positions, like I would do what you guys do, where you guys go like off the grid and then just like try to fish as many. Like imagine have you gone to Japan to catch bass there?
We were supposed to go.
Yeah.
Rob really wants to go to Japan. Like Rob doesn't really like to travel that much. I don't know. He's always like trying to stay home other than his tournaments, but he wants to go to Japan so bad.
I'm like, whenever you guys go, I'm going.
Okay.
1,000%.
Everybody is down for a Japan trip. So
yeah. If anybody watches this and is from Japan, let us know some good lakes out there. Yeah, please. What is one country that you want to fish, and what are you fishing for? I thought it was awesome when John went to like London and met up with all those London fishermen. That was super dope.
You're not going to expect this.
Oh, shit.
I want to go to Russia.
Okay.
And I want to fish for taimen, I believe is the correct name. They're just like a river fish.
Okay.
In Russia.
Yeah.
And it's like super hard to get to. Like you have to know a guide to take you there because it's like kind of unsafe and stuff. But that is one thing that I would want to do.
For real?
Yeah.
Taimen. How do you spell that? Or how do you... Russian fish?
Yeah, look it up. Look up taimen.
Russian fish.
I think that's the name of it. Could be right.
Taimen?
Maybe I'm saying.
Oh, taimen. No, you're right. You're right. It's taimen. But this big. Oh my God, they're massive.
There's like a couple videos on YouTube of people catching these, like Russian dudes, but it's low key. John was the one who turned me on to it.
Yeah.
It just seems unreal to be like, hey, I went to Russia and I did this.
Yeah. So. That is good. You guys have been to Brazil, right? To Sao Paulo, was it, or the river?
What was that river called?
Did you guys go for Arapaima or just Peacock?
We did do an Arapaima mission. I hooked one.
Okay.
We didn't have bobbers, so we used actually like literally these water bottles.
Yeah.
I ran a line, so I had braid to here, and then I ran a mono line to my hook, and I tied a loop knot here. Which I should have tied like a regular line to line because we had one take the bobber down, shoot off, and then broke. Literally, my knot, 40-pound test.
Fudge. How big do you think that was?
So an Arapaima like jumps and they make noise.
Yeah.
So we think the one that hit it was probably like 100 pounds.
God damn. I wanna do that, but I also don't want to do that. I'm like Rob. When he went to Africa, or when you guys went to, have you been to Africa or just them?
No, never been to Africa.
When they went to Africa, I was like, man, that sounds like such a dope trip. But getting there is like apparently a 6-hour drive from the time that you land in South Africa or some shit.
Yeah.
I can't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would want to. If I was younger, I would totally do that, but just I'm gonna wait until teleportation is a thing. That way we can get there so much quicker.
Yeah.
Obviously. All right, man. Well, look, it was nice talking to you. No, I'm kidding. When you started fishing at what age? You're from Crystal Lake, or what city are you from?
I grew up in Wheeling.
Wheeling what?
Yeah, we talked about this.
Have we really?
Yes.
My memory's fucked. Wheeling, Illinois?
Yeah, I went to St. Alphonsus.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
Pat McDonald and Wheeling Road. You remember that Lamborghini that crashed?
Yes. Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. That's
Oh
where I
my
lived.
God. Yeah, that's by. Anyway, I know where it is. There's we played basketball on that road where that Lamborghini. So that school.
Yeah.
That school is that it's on Palatine Road, isn't it?
No, it's on Wheeling Road. So here's Wheeling Road. Here's Palatine Road Express.
Yeah.
And then here's like Woodland Creek Apartments.
Okay.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so crazy. I went to Holmes Junior High.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in Wheeling.
I grew up in Wheeling.
Did you go to high school there?
No, I went to high school at St. Viator.
St. Viator,
But I
yeah.
did. So I grew up I lived in Wheeling from age 2 till 18.
And then, oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And when did you meet John, and how did you meet John? Did you guys go to the same school?
We went to St. Viator together. I met John my freshman year in high school, and he was part of the bass team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He actually quit the bass team because he hated the coach, the head coach. And
what about him? Did you hate the coach?
I didn't really know much about him. John had him as a teacher too.
Oh.
So there was some I don't know, something going on there.
Yeah.
But I remember the coach telling John that the videos he was making were dumb and a waste of time, and that
He told John that.
No, he told me this.
Oh.
He's like, I don't know why John's making these videos. It's a waste of time. And he's keeping the fish out of the water for too long. That was always his famous thing.
Yeah.
He's keeping the fish out of the water too long. Why is he showing the camera this? And I'm just like, I don't know. This guy's kind of dumb. So then I started making YouTube videos with John.
Yeah.
And that's how the whole thing started.
Jesus.
Was high school and just us messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go. Has anyone sent him your videos now, or John's videos to Mr. whatever?
Mr. Nowak was his name.
Nowak?
Yeah.
Mr. Nowak, you gotta get with the times. I mean, it's been 10 years. I bet you now he's like, God damn it, I supported that kid from the beginning.
Yeah. He's like, I love those guys.
Yeah. John is the guy. When Rob first approached you guys to on creating like a super team of YouTube fishermen, what did you think about that? Because at the time you were super heavy into competition. Did you compete, or were you about to start competing?
Yeah, I was competing. That was YouTube was one of the reasons why I stopped competing, actually. So I was competing before that. Yeah, so Rob sent me a DM, and he was like, yo, Flair's coming into town. Do you want to come? And I was like, John, you should come. And I forgot what. Rob sent something to John. I don't remember what it was, but John was like, I'm not going. F that guy. I had to convince John to still come for that meeting. I totally remember this. And I'm so glad I did, obviously.
Yeah.
But we all got together, and
what did Rob say? Rob's got an approach, right? Like he's
he said something. It was like the dates weren't going to work out or something, and he could only do these days. And he was like, "You better show up." And John was like, "Don't tell me what to do. You know how that shit goes down." And it was just two men bickering about nonsense.
Yeah. Still to this day.
Still to this day, yeah. But we all got down, and it was pretty much you. He was like, "Yo, look at Optic. Look at what Hector's doing. Why don't we just do that in the bass fishing space?" And at the same time, all of our commenters were like, "Hey, why are you guys making the same videos together? Why don't you just make one video and post it on a channel? That way we're not watching the same content." And it just seemed like the viewers wanted it. Rob had this idea. We were following kind of your path, and it happened.
The crazy thing about that is that's always been everybody's main concern. Every creator's main concern is we can't play together because we're ultimately going to upload the same video. But it's a different POV, so people will watch that. No matter how much they say they don't watch it, they will watch it.
Yeah.
Co-streaming now is a big thing where everybody is playing on the same thing, but it's different people's POV, and co-streaming now allows you to do all 4 POVs at once, for Call of Duty players. And even Hitch and his group of the TST guys, they all play the same game, and they have all 3 cameras on one display. So that's always been a main concern. Nadeshot and Scump used to get into a million fights because they would play on the same game to say that they play together on the video title, and etc. And at the same time, one would get a 30-0 game, and the other one would get massive streaks that would be good titles. And they're like, "I'm uploading." It's like, "No, I'm uploading." It's like, "No, I'm uploading." No, and I'm like, "Both of you uploaded 2 different gameplays."
Yeah.
2 different things. It never got. The other thing is that if they would have separated it, if it was all right, let's flip a coin. You upload yours today, I'll upload mine tomorrow. That's 2 different scenarios in which you can upload. But
It always feels like you're fighting other creators when you're in the same space, but in reality, you're just working together to like grow the space.
It took me a long 5 years, I think, from 2009. Yeah, like around 2014, I realized that YouTube was so big that everybody could make, like, there was no need to have beef, or there's no need to try to outdo anybody. Like, it's good to have that sort of competition because it elevates your personal wants and at the end accomplishments. But there is a lot of like underhanded, situations in which you're like, you don't want other people to succeed, but that's like the wrong approach, because if they succeed and they're as big as you, I would want nothing more than to every single one of the league teams right now to be as big as Optic, because that means that we have the biggest league in the world.
Everybody grows off of that person or that organization.
Yeah. Did you guys create content just like from the beginning, or was it something like what made you like want to start making videos on it?
In the Guggen channel or my personal?
Your personal one.
Man, it really was just like I was fishing, and I was like, I might as well try and make videos out of this. I did start it, though, to make as a business. Like, I went into it, the first video was like, I got to figure out how to monetize this so that I can make money off it, just because I wanted to fish. Yeah. And I didn't know if competitive fishing was going to be the way that I could do it, or if videos or content was. So that's why I kind of just went into it. But fishing was what drew me into making videos.
That's crazy. What's crazy is that the path that you guys followed, all the Optic shit aside, like it's super almost impossible to do that, right? Like, you can see, it's like look at Barstool, okay, or look at Tesla, right? If you look at Tesla, you're like, okay, I see how it's done. I could go do it, right? It is going to be impossible to try to accomplish the same thing that they did, right? So following and knowing the path is one thing. Accomplishing it is the craziest part about it.
Yeah.
And here you guys are, call it, 4 years into this thing?
Yeah, 2016. Yeah. That's when we formed. So it's 5 years now.
5 years. It's 2021. Okay, so 5 years into this thing, you guys have built like such a massive business on the baits side of things, on the media side of things, that you guys are almost like uncatchable at some regard. Like, I always told Rob from the beginning, as we would talk about this, I'm like, look, now that Guggen has become a thing, other people are going to try to make the same sort of teams the way that the same sniping teams came along when we created sniping teams. So there is going to be that competition. I'm like, and always look, I told him, like, I'll always pay attention to the ones that are going to start to sort of catch fire, because you can control that situation the way that you want to control that situation, right? Yeah. Because healthy competition is healthy competition, but sometimes not having competition is also good, right? Yeah. Luckily for you guys, like it's gotten to the point to where like you're just too big to be fucked with, I think.
Yeah, there was teams, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago, there was some people trying to compete with us and like starting their own brand, but it seems like they would start together. They would get together, and then like 2 or 3 weeks would go by, and then they would just like fall apart. They would get into some sort of fight, and then those people would want to come and join Guggen. Yeah. So I think it was a miracle that all of those, like me, Rob, Flair, and John, were all leaders, and we're all like our own individuals. So it's crazy for all of us to mesh together and still work together 5 years later. But I think that's just a testimony to us as friends. Yeah. Like, we're friends over business.
Yeah. No, that's obviously like the recipe to everything is whether or not you like the people that you work with. Yeah. And although in my case, right, like there's been a lot of arguments from the beginning, right? Like I said, with Nate and me, Nate and Scump and me. Well, I don't think Scump, but yeah, we've argued a couple times. Neither here or there, but like when you know that you guys are all working towards like one common goal, it makes it a lot easier for you to say, you know what, like I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and that's that, and you're gonna say what you're gonna say, and that's that. But to completely just say, walk away from something just because of a disagreement was never like even part of the equation. So that makes it that makes that recipe easier to digest when you know that no matter what you say, that's still going to be, your boy at the end of that. So that's really good. Talking to Rob about Rob, he announced, like 4 weeks ago, that he was going to go into professional, into the PFL. Is it PFL or what is it?
I don't know. There's so many different circuits because Major League Fishing, they bought FLW.
There you go. FLW.
So then they turned FLW into like It used to be the Costa series, and now it's something else. What you were saying, and then there's also the Bassmaster, the Open. So I think he's fishing. He's for sure fishing the Southern Opens, the Central Opens, and then I think he's fishing all of the MLF stuff. He's fishing like 20-something tournaments or something crazy.
But that is him, right? Like he's never done something like kinda, you know.
As long as Rob doesn't get frustrated and quit, he will legit destroy. Like, I think he's going to do good.
So do I.
But he's just got to get his rhythm and figure it out because he's just so determined at it. And when he's determined at something, he's going to do good.
When Matt Kendrick told me that he didn't catch that many that one time, but his co-angler caught a bunch, I'm like, okay, well, he's on them. He's just not the one pulling them into the boat. But he's on them. He's dialed in.
Yeah.
He's just not the one pulling them in, which is obviously, you know, I would have kicked that motherfucker off the boat. You know that's what I used to fish as a co-angler. And it's always crazy. Like, if your boater's not catching them and you start catching them, they just get like, their mind. Like, if you're running the boat and the person in the back is catching them, you just get into like some sort of funk and it just throws you off. Yeah. So I don't know. I said it, you know, from the beginning, that I don't think there's a time where he fails. Maybe not necessarily catches him, but the fact that he went and did it, like, he's not gonna be old as fuck saying, "I wish I would have done that." Like, he's actually doing something that most people don't get to do, don't have the opportunity to do, and more importantly, they just don't really want it, right? Like, you think that you want to do it, but you never do it. This guy said, "I want to do it just to see if I do want to do it," right? And he's out there. He's had what, two competitions thus far?
No, he just had one, I think, or is he had two?
No, I think it was the one, but it was different days. I get
2 days.
Yeah, I get the report from Maddie in a text, and I shoot him text like during tournament days. I shot him like, "Yo, go fuck them up," you know. I just like that, and he won't reply, and I'm like, "Hell yeah, my man's is dialed in." But yeah, that's good. Have you ever thought about going back into that?
Yeah, I fished one as a boater, on Lake Ontario, which is in New York. I almost sank my boat. It was like 8-foot waves. I went out into the main lake. That was the scariest I've ever been in my boat. And then ever since then, that was actually the lettuce video. Was when I was practicing. I don't know if you ever saw that, but I caught a smallmouth of lettuce. Anyways, that was the last time I fished a tournament because that's when YouTube blew up. But now that I haven't posted a YouTube video in 5 months.
Why? You seem like you're like a nomad. You know what I mean? Like, I'll hear that you're over there, and then I'll hear that you're over here now. I hear that you bought a second van, and I feel like you're like this free-spirited dude that's like all over the place. Like, where in the world is Alex Peric? Like, should be a thing, right? Because you never know what you're into, or what is like. Is it just you need to be like when I heard that you were gonna take your boat from wherever in Michigan all the way to wherever in northern Michigan or Lake Michigan, I was like, why? Like, what's on a bass boat?
Yeah, I took a bass boat from Chicago, Illinois, and went all the way around Lake Michigan. So I went to like Wisconsin, all the way up to Michigan, then down to Indiana. Like, I did a complete circle. It was crazy. It took me a week to do, and I lived out of the boat. But back to the original question, when am I going to upload? I have no idea, man. I was on BBC the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
Of course, I saw it in my vlog.
Yeah. But I was going to make a video out of that, and I went to edit it, and then something came up, and now it's 5 days later, and I still haven't edited it, and I don't have an editor, and I don't want an editor because that's just like more stress on myself. So I think I'm going to get into a rhythm where I get back into it, but I have no plans. Just like you said, whatever happens, happens.
What is it? It's just, have you always been like that? Have you always been like just this free-spirited, like, lo que será, será?
I think in the beginning I was so focused.
What will be, will be.
What will be, will be. I think I was so focused on just like making a business, and I don't know, you get out of college, right? I was leaving college to do this, and you want to be financially free. You want to make sure you can do all this. So you work so freaking hard. You upload every day. All you do is focus on YouTube. And then like you get a little bit of money. You kind of relax, and now I don't feel the stress to upload. Like, when I upload a video now, it's going to be truly what I want to upload. There's nothing behind it. And you know how YouTube is. If you upload 5 videos a week, or if you upload 1 video a week, the person uploading 5 videos is usually going to get more subscribers, more traction, because they want more content. And when you're in that mindset of just uploading content, it just gets stressful. It gets like you drain yourself. And that's where I was. I'm definitely getting out of it.
In that funk.
Yeah, I'm getting out of the funk.
Good. It's you're doing the whole bunch of things. You have Frostbite, right? That's your ice fishing company. You also have obviously Guggen, right? Guggen. As that, and then you're into stocks, right? Like that's like out of Lehman Brothers Risk Management 2000. Is that OG, like an original?
So this is just like a meme. They went out of business in 2008.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was like an actual.
No. This is just somebody made it recently. But this is just this. If this doesn't tell you what the U.S. financial system is,
which is what?
It's scary.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
What is the dollar anymore?
What is the dollar? When you see stuff like Dogecoin, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, stocks, GameStop stock.
Yeah.
Let's just do a little check right now.
Let's do a little check on that.
Like,
did you get into Doge?
Man, back in July, I watched the TikTok,
and
I will say this: I put $20,000 into Dogecoin in July, and I was like, I watched it for a little bit. It went up to like 30,000. Like $20,000 investment, it was at 30. I took it out. The last big spike, that $20,000 would have been worth $410,000, and I sold it. So no, I'm not in Doge anymore. I wish I was, but it's just one of those stories where it's like, wish I could have. GameStop 139. Crazy. But no, I enjoy the stocks a lot. I enjoy.
How'd you get into that?
I bought Tesla stock November Black Friday of 2018. 2019. Sorry, 2019. And then I bought that stock. When I got rid of all my social medias, I went back to Twitter. Twitter is like, if you get into this like little niche on Twitter, there's a bunch of stock people and like memes and stuff. And I just like got sucked into that. And now I trade almost daily and just watch the markets, and it's something else for me to do. Yeah.
So you do trade, like day trade, that's your thing now.
Yeah. And
semi-building a van. When does your dad get in to help you?
Monday.
Okay. Oh, so you wouldn't have been able to come with anyway?
No, yeah.
Because your dad gets in on Monday. I mean, he could have hung out for like a day, I guess.
Yeah, I could have extended his trip, but I got somebody coming in this weekend too, so I can't. But no, and day trading, I don't want you, like, people think day trading is like just throwing a bunch of money at something and then the next day taking it out. When I'm day trading, I have my long-term stuff, and then I'm writing options, or I'm selling puts, or I'm selling calls on my stock. So like, say you own 100 shares of Tesla and you bought it at 500, right? It's at 700. And this Friday, if there's a call and it expires on Friday, and I don't think the stock is going to get to 800. It's at 700. I don't think it's going to get to 800. I can sell a call, that 800 call. It's probably going to have a premium $6-7 on a Monday. So I can take that it's 100. I know this is really complicated, but when you buy a contract, it's 100 shares.
Yeah.
So if it's $7 premium, you take 7, you times it by 100, so that's $700. So if I were to sell that 800 and it doesn't get to 800 by Friday, I get all that $800 and I keep my Tesla shares. If it were to get over 800, then my stock would sell at 800. I would still make the money, but I would have unrealized gains, because if the stock kept going up, I would have lost the stock at 800. So I'm not really day trading where I'm buying a bunch of stocks and selling them. I'm more having my long-term portfolio and then selling options on those shares, or selling puts if something were to get down to a certain price.
And that you just passionately got into it, just happenstance, just like it attracted you? Like, yeah,
it attracted me. And then there was some very attractive women on Twitter that were posting like stock stuff. And then that just drew me in more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Nothing sexier than a smart woman.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very lucky with my Jude. So you get into this Twitter. What was it about just shutting everything down? Actually, before you get into that, let me say hi to the sponsors really quickly.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, Upstart is this week's sponsor, right? For those of you who don't know, Upstart is the fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off your debt. At its very basic core, okay? You know that credit card, the one that you've been afraid to look at to see what the balance is? If you're avoiding your debt, it's time to confront it. Upstart can help you face it and finally pay it off. Last year showed us that you never know what life's going to throw at you. And if you use credit cards to pay for unexpected expenses, it can be overwhelming to manage that debt. Take control with Upstart, so you know exactly what to expect. right? Upstart is the fast and easy way, as I just mentioned, to pay off your personal loans, whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses. Over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get simple, fixed monthly payments. Upstart finds smarter rates with trusted partners because they assess more than just your credit score. That's what you got to pay attention to, okay? Because they assess more than just your credit score. With the 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans from $1,000 to $50,000. You can get approved the same day, and you can receive the funds as fast as one business day, right? Why pay that high interest rate when you can just pay a monthly fixed rate by consolidating all of it and just getting a loan to pay one thing? Why pay 15 things when you can just pay one thing? If that is taking over your life, it's time to get a fresh start with Upstart. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/eavesdrop. That is upstart.com/EAVESDROP. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other criteria and information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/eavesdrop. So yeah, finally, one last time for the people in the back, go to upstart.com/eavesdrop. That is upstart.com/EAVESDROP. Back to my man, Peric. Is Peric French? Your last name?
Serbian, Yugoslavian.
Serbian, Yugoslavian. Okay, so you deleted all your socials, not YouTube though, right? Obviously.
I didn't delete it, but I don't have it on my phone.
Okay. What, just mental health situation? Like you wanted to make sure, or what?
When you look at that screen time and all of a sudden you have 8 hours or 7 hours on these apps, it's just like, man, where did my day go? I could have been using that to build a van. Or
8 hours a day?
Yeah.
No, it's not 8 hours a day. Is it 8 hours a day? I thought it was 8 hours a week. Mine says like that, like screen time. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Screen.
I saw people like during the pandemic that had 16 to 18 hours on their phone a day.
I can't find it, but that is, I guess that is kind of wacky, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot to go through.
You know how I discovered I was using it too much, honestly, was TikTok. TikTok's one of the only apps where you'll be mindlessly scrolling and like 30 minutes, an hour of your life will just go by and you'll just be like, what just happened? You okay?
Yeah. I'm sneezing.
Bless you. That's what Hector thinks of TikTok.
Did you catch COVID?
No. I've never been tested for it. I never lost my taste.
Mhm.
I never had like headaches. I never felt down. So, but I was around people that got tested and were positive for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, you know what happened to me on TikTok like 2 nights ago? I fell into that. I've never opened. I've watched maybe 13 TikToks up until that one night. That one night, I spent 2 hours on it, and I could not believe my eyes. I got to bed at like 9:30, 10, as I usually do. Next time I look up in my phone, and it's like fucking 12:53, and I'm like, where the fuck did my time go?
Yeah.
I'm like, I now know what's up.
And when you're 16, 14, 13, and you go into that like addictive mindset, like it's hard for you to break it. Like if you do that for 2 or 3 years. So when I started to see that, I'm like, geez, I've been doing this with Instagram, TikTok, obviously not to that extent where TikTok really sucks you in, but I'm like, I got to take a break just to reevaluate my life and reevaluate my like time. So I did that. I'm kind of back. I look at stuff, I check it, but
yeah, except for Instagram.
Except for Instagram because I'm locked out.
We'll try to get that fixed. There was a I don't know how to bring this into the thing. So obviously the baits that you guys created have become like this massive success. Like I always joke and I always like Instagram stories how I will go to a academy and like everybody's baits is like so neatly put together, and then you go to a Guggen one and it's just a piece of shit,
It's
like
just
run down, destroyed. Right? It's like you almost feel as though people are running into that and just like swiping their whole hand into their basket and doing that. Did one, you have to be super proud of that sort of support from the fans, but also they work, right? Like it's
they work.
Yeah, if you can catch it with lettuce, you can catch it with like just about anything, right?
Fishing is it's like when I give a tip sometimes too, it's like, do I even really know what's going on?
Mhm.
Because you don't really know what the fish are going to bite.
Mhm.
But there is something proven if you go out and use that bandito bug. So many people have used that bandito bug. That thing just catches. Like,
Love it. My favorite.
When you use a
Bait of the year.
Yeah, when you use a bait so often, you could see that it just works. Like, it's almost, you have to test it.
Mhm.
And I think what's happening with Guggen is people are finally testing our products. People who have never even known who we are, they're going in the store, they're buying this, they're catching fish.
Mhm.
They're coming back and buying it more. And it's just creating a cycle of people needing our baits, which is
Yeah.
awesome. They all work. They're all great.
Yeah, in gaming we don't have that, right? Like you don't use one controller and then throw it away and then somebody goes out and buys another one. We don't have that yet. There are opportunities out there for that sort of gaming opportunity that I'm obviously looking at, but like in gaming we don't have that one like necessary or that one necessity to have this one single reusable item, or not reusable but what is it, disposable item that you use once and you throw out. But the success of it, did it surprise you, or did you know? Like, what's up? It didn't surprise me, for the record, but I'm like an outsider looking at you guys like creating something.
It didn't surprise me because we were like trying to get sponsors and we knew that we could sell product and that sort of thing. But it did surprise me on how we were able to take our ideas and turn them into like such good baits. Like, we are making legit fishing baits. They're not just like YouTuber fishing baits.
Right.
Like, these are freaking the best bass fishing baits to use. So it shocked me how we were able to get from that point to this point, but I don't know. I think I knew what we were doing. Like, yeah.
The names themselves are like super good too, right?
Do you remember? Were you there when we came?
I was not. No, I didn't go that year.
That was the first
Comodero. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't go. I think we had a match or some shit like in Vegas. Well, you guys were out there, and I just remember saying, I'm like, I wish I was over there instead of here. But
stuff felt so much busier back then than it does now. I feel like we're more in tune with everybody now. So
yeah, I mean, COVID really did a number on everybody's psychology, not just like my psyche now as to what it was pre-COVID. Like, it completely changed the way that I look at absolutely everything. It completely changed the way that I look at family time. It completely changed the way that I look at team time, like screen time, work time. It changed everything. Like, it put things into so much perspective that I don't think that I should have necessarily been exposed to that. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it did do a number on me. It did do a number on a bunch of people. I went from being mentally prepared to be gone every other weekend on these tournaments for Call of Duty to not traveling ever at all, period. Which is good because I spent even way more time with Jude and Liv, which is something that, you know, we see each other every single day, obviously, because we're free to do what we want. But COVID really put it to us. You know what I mean? So I don't know. How did you manage through it? Did you guys, were you a big partier before this? Did you go out a lot? Lunches, brunches?
I would say I'm not a big part. Like, when I get drunk, usually I lose control, and things happen.
Seen it.
Things happen. Like, when I'm a drunk, I like to be around my boys because they can at least, bring me down. But no, I wasn't a big partier, and I wasn't a big like going out in social settings because I get pretty like anxious around like a large group of people. But COVID affected me because when you're by yourself, like, I don't live with anybody, and you're just like by yourself all the time, it's kind of hard on your like, you just want to call people and talk to them, which luckily we have cell phone and we have FaceTime nowadays to where you still can be connected with people. But I found myself spending more alone time than I ever have, which I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, you have to be happy by yourself in order to be happy around other people.
How old are you?
23.
What? I mean, 23, dude. If like the dating scene, like what happens to that? How's that going for you? Is the DMs dry?
Well, I haven't been able to get on Instagram for over 2 months now, so I'm hoping that I'm going to open that and I'm going to have just like a flood of DMs.
How did were you on Tinder? Matt has a girlfriend. I was going to ask him, but were you?
I was on Tinder. Now I'm on Bumble.
How did Tinder work during the pandemic? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, because you can't go out on a date.
Some people just don't care. Some like most people on Tinder, I don't think care, and like, I care.
They're just trying to get it in.
They're just trying to, our generation is the horniest it's ever been, so we've got to.
You think? My generation was very horny. You know what I mean? We're still going.
feel like you look on Twitter nowadays, it's just like everybody's just so open with their horniness. But back to the Tinder thing, it's like I didn't like the people that are like, hey, let's just meet up right away, because it just seems like they're just doing that with a bunch of people, and that's how you would get COVID or some sort of disease, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I had Tinder for over a year. I never met one single person from Tinder. Messaged probably hundreds of people, never met up with somebody.
It's like fish, more casts.
Yeah.
Better chances.
Because like I'm at the point where I don't want to just like screw around with a bunch of girls. I kind of want to like find somebody.
You're past that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know. I was always curious as to what single people have been doing, because that's like it's nature, right? Like you have to have that connection. You have to have that sort of physical opportunity.
I think it's way easier though to meet somebody online, because you can screen them. Like there's nothing worse than like getting into an awkward conversation at a bar, and you're like midway through the conversation and you're just like, yeah, this isn't gonna work, but you're like, you don't want to just like walk away.
Yeah.
At least like when you get into like a conversation with somebody online, you could FaceTime them, you can screen them, you can kind of figure out if there's some sort of like connection before you even have to meet them, which is cool.
Yeah. So
there's positives.
Yeah. Have you? Let me see. Have you been on like? You should be on Twitter. Twitter is like where it's at, and then you should maybe like play some video games. Do you play video games at all? Have you ever played video games? There's a lot of like, the gaming scene is massive.
So
and everyone's super nice too.
Yeah. I need to get more involved in the gaming scene. I played Black Ops 1. That was my biggest addiction to Call of Duty. Was 8th grade. That was when I was in 8th grade when it came out. Loved Kino Zombies. Played, I think my record was 42.
Okay.
Pretty good. But never got into like anything after that.
No.
I don't own a PlayStation. I don't own an Xbox. I own nothing.
Yeah, Flair was talking about doing some gaming stuff, like on what was it, the some subscriber things, like super subs.
Yeah, he's got some like community that like on YouTube you can like send.
Can we give him daps right now? Like, is he not one of the best YouTubers you've ever seen?
We had this conversation the other day in the garage. Like, he is the best YouTuber I've ever met. I know, and I might ever like. He's a Logan Paul. Like, he's like I personally know Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Like, he's a YouTuber. Like,
he's legit. He's like legit YouTuber, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's good. Like the beauty about everything is that the beauty about YouTube is that everything is documented. So you can see where it started, you can see where it's going, and then you can see where it's at. And then you can see where it's at and you can see where it's going, right? Because he's built this like massive fan base off of him and a farm, and the endless. It's like he is like Minecraft. He is Minecraft. You know what I mean? Because he can do anything. He can build anything on that land
he wants.
Huh?
He can build anything he wants. He has a camel. He lives in Nebraska. He has a camel.
Does he put it in the barn when it's cold? Because it gets super cold there, and they can't be good in the snow, camels, right?
I was talking to him about this deep freeze they had, and he was just like, if you just feed them, like, that's key. They just need to eat, because the more they eat, the warmer they stay.
Camels are perfectly adapted to living in this extreme changeable environment, but camels need to withstand blistering heat and freezing cold, so they store their fat away from their body to keep them cool in the summer to realize typically negative 40 degree winters.
You have to realize, like,
or negative 40 Celsius.
People think that deserts are always hot. Like, even if you go out to West Texas, like Lubbock, for instance, like, it gets super cold. They got a lot of snow from this last thing. So, like, deserts at night, they're super cold. So, I mean, camel's fine. He's got camels, llamas, goats, real life Minecraft.
Yeah, like, he can literally build anything, and people are going to be there for that show. Like, I want to know where that, like, I can only imagine what that farm looks like, or that land looks like, call it, I don't know, 3 years from now. Because he's going to continue to add on. I built a super farm upon a bigger pond. I big a pond from a pond. I'm in a bigger pond. I got a better corral. Because right now he's got that like wire corral. Yeah. And that's like the other best thing about that, right? Like, he's not overly throwing money at a situation to make it like super dope. He's just making do with what he has, which is an even bigger appeal to a lot of people. Because if he can do it, anybody can do it. Yeah. That to me is like one of the best success stories that I've seen throughout this whole thing. I mean, the whole Guggen business itself is it's so appealing to for me from a business standpoint, because I understand content to commerce, and the way that you guys have done it is just mind blowing. Even to this day, like sitting here, obviously you guys just got the investment, right? So now it's time to like light fire on this thing, and like go even bigger, right? Which you wouldn't have expected. The majority, 90% of everybody that was in fishing would have never expected it.
No.
Right? Would have never expected it. When you guys like, if you think about it, everybody that saw you guys fishing was like, just a bunch of kids. And then they started following, and they're like, oh, damn, they're getting big. Well, they suck at fishing. They don't really know anything about fishing. And then
they're buying their followers. They don't know what they're doing. They're idiots.
They're like, holy shit, they're catching fucking big ass fish. Oh, everybody gets lucky.
Yeah.
He's like, holy shit, they got lucky a whole bunch of times. So what else can we fucking hate on? Right? It's like, the good thing about everything that happened with Guggen is that it happened pre-investment, right? And it's an investment because you guys still own majority of the company, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
So that's an investment, right?
Nothing has changed. Like, I don't know. I think Rob got on a podcast and like said we sold or something. And I'm just like, we didn't sell.
Right.
We took on investment.
A part of it.
Yeah, we sold a part of it.
Yeah.
Matt Kendrick is still the CEO and operates everything day by day. He's the reason why Guggen is at where it's at. Like, obviously everybody, but he's been the brains behind it for the last 2 years. He's still the brains behind it. We're still part of it. Nothing's really changing other than we have some more capital to invest in new products, more R&D, and just overall growing the brand more. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. I agree. Well, where I was going with that is I'm glad that it happened that because I didn't want that to also be a like, oh, they're only doing that because they got investment. You know what I mean? Like, there's like as you get bigger, the excuses that other people make for the reason that you're succeeding also grow. Right? So first is like, oh, they're a bunch of kids, they're nobodies. Okay, they're catching fish and they're getting a lot of followers. Oh yeah, but they're not real fishermen. Like they could never survive in a pro environment. Well, one, they don't fucking want to, unless they want to. But right now they don't fucking want to. Right? It's like, oh, but they can't catch fish. Oh shit, they caught a big one. Everybody gets lucky. Oh, they caught a bunch of them. I'm like, yeah, people get lucky a bunch of times. Like, oh, they're starting their own baits. I was like, okay, that's great. Fucking what else? What else are they gonna do? Rods. Okay, now they got rods. Like, at what point do the excuses for other people stop and say, instead of talking shit about these dudes that are fucking making shit happen, why don't we start making shit happen for ourselves instead of fucking spending the same amount of time talking shit instead of building our own shit? God damn it!
Preach. Yes.
I think I just did. What are some of the cool things that you're up to nowadays? Obviously. You got a little, and by little I mean a lot of new toys that you have access to.
Yes.
But I've seen this is what I like the most about YouTubers, and this is one of the main concerns in the investment world. It's always this same concern. Well, now that they have money, why would they continue to make YouTube videos, or why would they continue to do that? And I'm like, I've never met a single person that's received investment that hasn't reinvested in the things that they are able to do. If the fear was like, well, we buy some of it, they take a bunch of chips off the table, like they're just gonna go and play in the sand. I'm like, yeah, but they're gonna go play in the sand with a camera, and they're gonna do like, now they can buy themselves anything they want to make a video on it, to make their channels bigger, to sell more product, etc., like R&D, like you said, right? Like the ability to not be beholden to anyone to do what you want to do is like the biggest freedom that there is. So. But where I was going with it is like, I haven't seen any of you buy any wild ass shit.
Have you? Are you sure?
What?
I don't know.
Did you buy a van?
No, I haven't. Everybody else is buying all new homes and stuff. I mean,
yeah. Well, the home. I don't even consider a home like a fucking wilding out like buyout. You know what I mean? Because that's like you live there. You know what I mean? It's a nice crib. Yeah, but like who's got the Wraith, right? Who's got the Lambo? Who's got that? Like that sort of crazy shit. Not happen. I would have thought that John by now would have bought something like extremely fast.
Yeah. Well, did you see what happened yesterday?
No. With what? With
John and his girlfriend?
No.
He proposed.
He did. Get the fudge.
Dude.
What time was it? It's fucked up. What time did it happen?
I don't know. I wasn't on Instagram, so I didn't see it, but people were sending me it. Because he's been dating this girl for 6. Okay. You can't talk shit.
No. I met her.
Great.
Salt of the earth.
Great.
Yeah, sweet.
I love Kaylee.
He's as happy as I've ever seen him.
John.
Yeah.
They're both happy, but I just like, why not just wait a year or something? Like, just
you're
like he's 25.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying this is because now I'm the only Guggen who doesn't
have a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wanted him to wait for you.
Yeah,
you guys do everything together.
Yeah, it's like, man, can you just like not get married until you're like 30 so that way I
Yeah.
can find my significant
I'm so
other
mad
too?
that I missed Flair's wedding, obviously because of everything. Did you miss it?
No, I made
Oh,
it.
you made it.
But Matt missed it. John, I mean, 'cause of
Everyone.
COVID. It
yeah,
was like
fuck, man.
God.
I saw everybody getting fucking drunk in the limo and having like a blast, and I'm like, I wish I was there, man.
It was fun.
So now we get to do it at John's wedding.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't want to like bring this back on me. Like I was like, I'm just giving John shit, but it's crazy. 6 months getting married.
Yeah. When you know, you know.
You know.
Yeah. I was dating Jude for 2 to 3 months when I knew. I didn't propose to her, but I've been with her since. Like, but I knew right away. You know that's my girl. So yeah, congrats to him. I knew that it was gonna happen.
Congrats.
I just didn't know when it was gonna happen. So I'm actually kind of sad and surprised that it happened so abruptly. All day yesterday was a fucking shit show for me. Right? We were here. We shot a podcast yesterday, and then immediately from there we started doing the preparations for the team because they competed yesterday. And then at mid game, I had to drive down to Dallas to meet with a couple of investors. And then my night was like 9:30 p.m. I was no bullshit. I was in the middle of a conversation, and I I tweeted out, I'm like, "What's the score? I can't see my phone right now." And I put it down. And by the time that the dinner was over, it was like 9:30, and I look and I saw that we won. So there was no chance that I could have caught anything, especially or specifically John's thing, which sucks. Congratulations, Mr. John B. Roll and Mrs. soon to be Mrs.
John
B. Roll.
B roll. Yeah.
Mrs. B. Roll.
Damn.
So anyway, any big purchases you got in mind? Well, now you can move anywhere the fuck you want, really.
I know the land I was like when I was budgeting for a place in LA.
Yeah, now you don't have to.
Yeah, it's like my budget is just like way more now. But I don't know. I don't want to buy something and then regret buying it. Like I have
land. What would you regret buying land? You can sell that shit.
Yeah, there's still got to be a market. Like you can't just go and buy like the biggest piece of land ever. Like once you get above $1 million pieces of land, that's when it gets harder to sell them.
Yeah,
you got to find the right buyer. But no, I agree with you. I should go and buy something.
No, look, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. I was just wondering where you guys have it.
I will give you this. So right now I live in a 1-bedroom studio apartment right across the street. It cost me $950 a month. April 1st is when my lease is up. Like I terminated it, and I am not like my plan is just to live in the van.
In the van. And for how long? I believe you. Like, I know that you will, but for how long?
I think I was always in a rush to like buy something and get somewhere and do this. And now it's like I'll live in the van until something comes up to where I would have to move somewhere.
Do you watch videos or YouTube videos from van people?
Yes.
There's this guy that I watch. His name is Levi Allen.
I've watched Levi.
I came across him through Casey Neistat video because he's like running with Casey Neistat, and I'm like, oh shit! I clicked on it, and he wasn't running with Casey Neistat. He was preparing for the off chance that he would run with Casey because he saw that Casey Neistat was going to be on a panel in Utah. I think this was from, and he's like, I'm never gonna have an opportunity to meet this dude, and he's such a fucking incredible videographer. On top of that,
yeah.
Anyway, so he's got a van with his girl, and it's like it's good. I like watching it, but I don't think I could ever.
Yeah, one guy I watched, his name is Foresty Forest.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in a van in Alberta, and it's like -40, and he lives in his van. Pretty cool stuff. I don't know. There's just so many different ways and so many different alternative ways of living.
Yeah.
It's not always about money. Like, it's always great to have a big, nice house, but at the end of the day, you just have to survive and live. That's why you're on this planet. So that's why I love van life. And yeah.
What's there's this guy, legendary gamer in our community called his name is C Nanners, Adam Montoya. He lives in Austin, I think, but he lives in a van, or he lived in a van. Anyway, this dude, same sort of success story as you, right? Like he was very, very successful, made a ton of cash, reinvested in other stuff, but he chose to live in a van because he wanted to see the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I grew up in Juarez, right? In Juarez, it's mountainous, like massive mountains, like massive mountains. So I grew up looking at the mountains. I grew up in the shadow of the mountain. I grew up, you know what I mean? Like I always grew up around mountains. So when I moved to Chicago, I was mad that there were no more mountains. When I moved to Texas, I was like mad that there are no mountains. And every single time I'm in LA, every single time I'm in Seattle, every single time I'm in mountainous areas, I'm always like, man, I can see myself living here. And I've told Judith.
Yeah.
I'm like, baby, when it comes to like when we're like 65, 70, we're living in Seattle where there's pines, where there's mountains, where there's like a cabin. All I need is fiber internet. And actually, I don't know. I say that, but like I thought about it. I'm like, who would I hang out with, right? Besides,
that's one problem with like me moving to LA. It's like I don't know anybody. Like Dallas, I have friends here, so it's nice. But it's hard to move somewhere where you don't know anybody and just like start over. But you have Jude, then mountains are crazy, man.
Yeah, but I think I would drive her crazy.
You would, you would drive each other crazy.
Like, no, I'm not each other. She could never drive me crazy, but I would totally. She got to take care of me, man. I'm like a big fucking baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I bitch all day sometimes. So call me Nick Maniac Kirshner. That's I don't know. I think that at one point or another I do want to live at least for a year, like in that sort of terrain. Just because I've always been a big fan of the outdoors. I love pine trees. I love mountains. I love nature. I love those lakes in the middle of like, you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. That's why when I went to Comedero, I felt as though it was one of the most beautiful places the most beautiful place that I've ever visited in the world personally. It's just so, it's so undeveloped that you get a chance to see, nature, you know what I mean? And
raw beauty.
Be in it. Yeah. Raw beauty. Yeah. I don't know. I love that shit. I don't know what about it I like, but that's what I like. So, are you gonna record your journey as a van liver?
Yes.
What do you call them?
Van life.
Van lives.
You said like what?
Nomad.
Yeah, nomad.
Yeah.
Yeah, nomadic.
Nomadic. Are you gonna record?
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you upload?
Will I post? When you're on the road, you'll be surprised at how easy it is to upload off a phone.
Yeah? Even like high quality.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've always had trouble at hotels. Holy shit! I just took a weird ass breath. Do I have asthma? Is that cold in here that I have asthma, or I have a fucking cold all of a sudden? Anyway, so what do you got planned? Tell me so we can get off and I can let you go be free.
What do I plan today?
What do you have planned? Period. What's the plan?
The plan is not to have a plan, Hector.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes in life, you just got to not have a plan, and then the plan makes the plan.
Yeah.
Life makes the plan for you. I have no real plans other than to build my van, to catch a 10-pound largemouth.
I haven't done that.
I have to catch a 10-pounder.
When?
Before I die.
Well, same. But I don't want to catch that until I'm like 50 years old. Right? Like I don't want, if I go to Comedero this or to El Salto and I catch I don't know, a tenner, I'm gonna be happy, super happy, elated. But I'm also gonna be like, okay, so I mean, I guess now I gotta catch an 11 or catch a 12.
Exactly though, but the 10, like once you get to the 10,
double-digit club, man.
Yeah, then you're in the club. Then you go for the 11, the 12, the 13, the 18.
Yeah.
The 24.
Damn. Daddy. Well, she was 22, I think.
22, yeah.
22 pounds. Okay, so no plan is the plan.
Yeah, no plan.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for stopping by. I hope this isn't the last time. I want to do one of these with like the whole squad, maybe on a camping trip that we do.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, all his information is going to be in the description down below. Not that it matters because he doesn't use it, but please do explore. And we'll see you guys next time. Again, a quick shout out, obviously, to Upstart, who sponsored this podcast. We'll see you guys on the next one. Maddie, send us away.